Hey there everybody, we are back on the Corrado project again today, or as I like to call it, death by 1,000 cuts. Let's see what we get into today.
Previously on Battlestar Galactica.
And honestly, all of the cars are ongoing projects. I've got grocery lists for each of them. Yes, indeed. So back on the Corrado, it has been one rabbit trail after another. We've done an awful lot of work on it. Last time we were doing stuff underneath, and today again we are going to do stuff underneath. One of the neglected things that I need to do is get back in underneath that transmission pan. The valve body that we installed a while ago needs to have some adjustment done to the torque on the bolts holding it in place. It seems I over-tightened it just a little bit. Need to loosen them all, tighten them back just barely to spec. It's very, very finicky. It's very particular about how much torque. It's 44 inch-pounds and no more. And if you do any more, the valves don't like to slide very smoothly. So it is shifting a little hard, or was when we were having it on the road the last time. So we're gonna do that as long as we're under here before we then finally start putting the supercharger on. So all of that might happen today. Let's see. So here's what we're getting to with this. These bolts are super finicky and they need to be exactly the torque spec that they want to live at. And if they are over tightened even a little bit, it can warp the aluminum in the valve body and make the valves prematurely wear out. It can keep valves sticking and not working properly. So what we're doing here is we ran the transmission in. I am just double checking these specs because I suspect that I may have given it a little too much when I tightened them, and I want to make sure that they are on point as far as the spec goes. So they are now loose. It goes to 44 inch-pounds. I'm going to start with the outer ones and then move to the inners. And yeah, so very carefully without any over tightening or ugga-dugga. That's it. Actually, I'm going to go right back, redo that one because it's such a gentle spec right there. You can't even hear it click. That's it. that should be all of them. I'm just gonna go around and just feel if I've actually tightened it yet. Not gonna put any torque on them, just if they spin a little bit, then I know I didn't hit it. Just making sure each one of these is at spec. There we go. That's it. Now we put the filter back. An update here, and I think we're gonna call it a day. We have successfully done our transmission stuff under there, so that is all buttoned up again. We also reinstalled our duct. It's been missing for a while, but some folks had commented about the external transmission cooler we have mounted back here, and how that from the way that we had shown it before, it didn't look like there were brackets. It looks like it was right up against the back thing here, but you can see it's vented. We have created our own vented fender liner, and it does have about 1.5 inches of room between the brackets and the cooler. And we also have a duct that we put in between the this front opening, so it goes right back to the cooler inside there, to make sure that the transmission is staying nice and cool. So, you know, 205,000 miles on this transmission. It's probably not long for this world, but just a little bit of maintenance might keep it going long enough for it to at least get the supercharger in here, get it rolling, get it on the road, and let us enjoy it a little bit before it tears the transmission into pieces, which I fully expect will probably happen with the added torque from the supercharger, but we shall see. We do have that 6-speed that is waiting to go in, the manual 6-speed. I do need to collect a few more parts for that, like they're little things, mostly. The throw-out bearing / slave cylinder, it's one piece for an O2M transmission, so that thing I need. And I need to get the axles lengthened, or I should say cut to length. I've got O2M axles from a 24 valve, and they have to be shortened slightly in order to work in a Corrado. So we're gonna have to have that done. I think I found a local place that can do that, get those shortened, and then we'll have all the parts we need for the 6-speed. But in the meantime, it's on to the supercharger. So yeah, finally we can get back to that. So let's see if we can make that happen.
And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to say goodbye. We'll be back.